Margrethe Vestager, Brussels competition chief, said Dublin would need comfort in the months and years ahead if a bad agreement or no-deal scenario reaps devastation and mass unemployment. She made the remarks as the EU Council President Donald Tusk jetted out to Dublin to meet Leo Varadkar, with officials saying he would express support for the TSOH's border position. Behind the scenes, Ireland is expected to come under some pressure not to put a block on sufficient progress next month, although member states are supportive of its desire to receive more assurances from the UK. Speaking at a meeting of the Committee of the Regions this morning, Ms Vestager confirmed that EU officials are already working with Dublin to try and mitigate the fallout from Brexit. EBS EU Competition Commissioner Margrethe Vestager. Her remarks came after the Commission quietly approved a scheme, set up in October, that will allow the Irish government to cover up to 40% of restructuring costs for struggling businesses. A recent economic projection, produced by the respected Centre for Economic Policy Research, showed that Ireland could shed a massive 2.5% of its workforce in the event on a no-deal Brexit. The modelling predicted Dublin will be more badly affected by Britain crashing out of the EU than any other nation in the bloc or the UK, demonstrating the country's pressing need for a trade deal. But Mr Varadkar is currently playing hardball over next month's hoped-for declaration of sufficient progress as he seeks to eke as many concessions out of Downing Street on the future of the border as possible. Uncertainty is coming and you're not certain that it's followed by business opportunities. EU competition chief Margrethe Vestager. However, whilst Ms Vestager did not specifically mention next month's Crunch EU summit in her remarks, they will be seen as further evidence that Dublin cannot afford to block trade talks. This morning, Dara Murphy, an influential member to the TSOH's party Fine Gael and a vice-president of the powerful UP grouping in Europe, asked whether the bloc's state aid rules could be bent to help out a struggling Ireland. He told the Committee of the Regions, once the UK leaves the EU it will cease to be subject to the prohibitions on state aid. It's of utmost importance that we ensure that some form of commitment will take place from the UK side in this matter, so that fairness exists and to limit the possibility of trading on different terms or without a state aid regime. Any agreement could still leave specific sectors, notably agriculture, that export into the UK under significant economic stress. Wednesday, September 13, 2017, Ms Vestager replied, "We are already working with the Irish government to see how to mitigate, if consequences for the Irish economy because of Brexit will be as severe as can be feared. We've started setting up a working group in order to see if we at all have to challenge state aid rules or if we can find solid, well-tested solutions within our rules already. It's already in the workshop. It's on the working table because of the comfort I think that is needed for the Irish community in these very, very tricky months and years where uncertainty is coming and you're not certain that it's followed by business opportunities." The Danish bureaucrat is a rising star in Brussels who has earned a burgeoning reputation for her high-profile takedowns of big corporations, like Apple and Amazon, for failing to pay enough tax. She is even being touted as a possible successor to the EU Commission chief Jean-Claude Juncker and is said to have the hugely significant support of French President Emmanuel Macron in the bag.